Welcome. This is a recording of adults playing or talking about tabletop games. This means that adult language and/or themes may occur within that could be seen as inappropriate for younger audiences. Thank you. Hey guys, this is Verci or John. I just wanted to go over a couple quick things with you guys. So we just had our first session, and overall things I thought felt went really well. The players took to the new rules pretty quick. Luckily, because they're still new, but they have a little bit of role playing experience. Things were actually really like they already knew a lot of mechanics. They knew attack of opportunity and all that kind of stuff, and it was actually kind of fun because a lot of those rules in the given rule set aren't used. So it was awesome, and everyone had a lot of fun. And after the session, I got to talk to him a little bit, and we got to, kind of like, make sure that everyone was good and whatnot like that. And they all said that they had a blast. So win for the night if they had fun. So what this is this is a thing that I'm going to do every single time we have a session. I literally just hung up on the Skype with them like 5-6 minutes ago. I fixed my overlay to handle a situation where I'd be talking. I didn't want to do this whole like fancy overlay. And I wanted to just go over my thoughts, where I screwed up, where I felt the players didn't quite understand things. When you watch the video, you're going to see that it's all from the Dungeon Master's perspective. So you're going to see like hidden tokens, and you're going to see certain things. So one of the things I wanted to do this session is I wanted to get them very familiar with the mechanics. I wanted them to do lots of target number tests, which are basically like skill checks. And I wanted them to get into some combat, and I wanted them to do really cool things and learn that we're not really concerned about, how far can I move my character, and if I'm stuff like that. And they took to it, like birds to water. I mean, it was awesome. The thing I probably would say was the biggest screw up of the night was I did not make them feel that the situation was as dangerous as I intended it. The entire point of the situation was for them to get familiar with the fight, and then there to be overwhelming odds, and them to run away. Matthew Blood Dancer was supposed to be left behind. He was a killable NPC. I'm not necessarily saying that he dies, but at least in the eyes of the players, he should die. I specifically wanted them to leave him behind so that he has the chance of living and I can bring him back as a character later, but I wanted them to get the heck out of Dodge. So what you're going to see in the video, if you haven't watched it already, the way that I'll do the playlist is that I'll give my commentary after, so you should have already seen the video. You actually will see me create more hellhounds while the players are talking. And then I realized when they were fighting that I had originally made the Hellhounds to have way more life than they needed to for a first level encounter. They had what would equate to like a level 4 encounter worth of HP, so I dropped them down to 10 HP. That was my first mistake. I should have made it about 15 so that when they hit the Hellhounds, they wouldn't insta-kill them. A lot of the attacks that happened, I know, that Nate, who plays Flower, he did a double kill. I know Zach as Zeke, he did a shotgun double kill. Andrew had the potential with 2 different flame blasts to do double and triple kills, and I totally wasn't even thinking about that because I had to do such a quick, fast change to the HP that it could have been really disastrous. So that was mistake number 1. My second mistake was because I made them too easy, they felt that they could take on the monsters anyway. So when Matthew Blood Dancer turns around and he tells them to run, and he had to interrupt his prayer, I didn't do a good way of describing what happens if he interrupts his prayer because they don't understand the holy mechanic of the game. So what Matthew was using is he was using a holy weapon, which requires you to do like these like faith checks and stuff like that. I negated all that because I needed him to go Super Saiyan for the course of this fight. What was supposed to happen, ideally, was that he was going to get surrounded by dogs and he was going to block the entrance. He's going to block that door that they escaped through and prevent them. And basically, he was going to close the door, and he was going to, like they were going to hear him fighting on the other side as they ran away, while screaming his prayer. But because they were just cutting through these hellhounds like nobody's business, because I fucked that up, um, I had to introduce something else. So what do? You make the same mob bigger. So that was like my improv, for the monster. Like I wanted to keep using hellhounds, so I basically made it a second pack showed up, and Andrew, who played Biscuit, was caught onto that immediately. He's like, man, we've been like making a lot of noise. Guns have been going off and things have been exploding. Like, of course, a second pack showed up. Um, then the second pack shows up, and I couldn't just throw them more, fodder dogs, because at that point I've already described that dogs have this like really low HP. It makes it very easy. They're gonna think that they can do it all night, and for the most part they kind of could. Just the way the dices were rolling, they were doing really well at the beginning. The dogs were doing really shitty. At the second half, when the other dogs got introduced and people were realizing they needed to get the hell out of Dodge, the dogs were hitting just insane amounts of damage, and they were getting stunt points like mad, which was really good because it added to like the danger element for the players. But they it was kind of like too much too late in my mind, and that's where like the big dogs came in. The big dogs, basically they were the exact same dog. The only thing I did is I made their HP, instead of 10 I made it 50. That way Matthew, even in his Super Saiyan mode, could not insta give one of those dogs, and he rolled just an insane roll. He rolled like a 25, or a 24, and then like I boosted him for like holy damage and everything, and all he did was like basically he took out like a quarter of the dog's life. Actually, he took about a half, and so I made him chop off a dog's leg. One of the big dogs was just chopping through like a tree. And that was like the extent of like this insane roll. And I think right about that time, everyone realized that this was like a fight they weren't going to win, and they made it out. Um, the campaign was supposed to go a lot further. There was supposed to be an RP element tonight. Unfortunately, because I screwed up the dog encounter a little bit with the HP, because I don't understand the damage ratio variance of the game yet. At that point, basically, they were supposed to flee, and then there was going to have an RP element, which is going to be next Sunday, or this next session. We didn't get to that tonight, but that's okay. Everyone had fun. I hope you guys enjoyed it. But that's the case. If you have any questions about the world, feel free to ask in the comments. I'd be more than happy to answer any and all questions. If I missed some logic, if you're from Boston and I fucked up some lore, please let me know. I'm not from Boston. I just really love the city. Other than that, one thing I guess I should mention is there was a mechanic that happened tonight, which was from Zeke. He rolled a 666. In case you're wondering, I won't make you wait on the cliffhanger for what happens after that. But in the session, if you roll a 666, you basically become legendary for whatever you do. So I let you just completely make up whatever you want. I'm not going to look at the stunt points. I'm not going to look up anything. Basically, tell me what you want, and it's going to happen. Short of like insta giving something. Like you're not going to insta kill a alpha demon lord with that. You might remove an arm or something like that, but you're not going to instantly kill him. In the case of this, it was a dog. It was just absolute, fodder. He could kill it any which way he wants. So I just let him kill it. But basically what's going to happen is that we're all going to get together. You're going to hear it in the video if you haven't already. We're all going to get together, and we're going to create a nickname. And so he's now going to be Zeke, and then he's going to have a title like Matthew Blood Dancer did. He's going to get something cool for doing that. And hopefully we come up with something pretty cool. And what's going to happen is that to reward him for that role and the cool role playing and stuff like that, I'm going to have other people in the world recognize him as that title. And so like it's going to start off slow at first, but the longer the name's been in existence and that character's still alive, people will hear this name, the legend of Zeke, I don't know, I can't even think of a good name off the top of my head. Zeke the Shotgun Dog Slayer or whatever, and they're going to create legends about him and all this like fantastical stuff, and it's going to either help him because he's going to be able to throw his weight around, or it's going to hurt him because they're going to be like, oh no, Zeke the Hellhound Shotgun Slayer. He's like 9 feet tall, and he carries a shotgun in each hand, and his shotguns are made of gold, and like he's gonna be like, no, they're not, and they'll be like, yeah, it is, and so it might affect him that way. But anyways, that's all really. Unfortunately, I don't have a lot more commentary because there wasn't a role playing element like I intended. But I hope you guys enjoyed it. If you have any questions, like I said, please let me know, and look forward to hearing from you guys, and hope you enjoyed. Bye.